If you've been looking for an inexpensive, lightweight way to mount some cargo above the bedsides of your truck, our Modular Chase Rack might be the solution for you. So this thing is a bimetal design. Our top plate is aluminum, so this is the mass of the product, so we save as much weight as we can with that. Our mounting brackets on the side are made out of 3mm steel. We got a standard US spec MOLLE pattern here. We've got cutouts for L-track connectors there, so that way you've got as many mounting points as we can add to this product. Super lightweight. Not only can you mount it in the up position, but you can reconfigure it and change one bracket to mount it in the down position. So here's what that looks like. The down position is a great way to mount some things like Milwaukee Packout boxes or toolboxes and things that you don't want necessarily be visible from the sides of the truck. So the only difference in the assembly with these are these corner brackets here. So if you notice on that one's got an extra little dog bone shape cut out. So that's the up bracket. The bottom bracket, there's not room for that here. So that's the difference there. All the other parts are the same. When you buy it, you'll get both brackets in it, so you can decide when you put it together if you want the up position or the down position. So these will be sold in singles. So if you just want one, like if you want to store your pack out gear or whatever up there, we put Starlink on that pretty often. That's a great way to get the dish up above the cab. And so what we're trying to do is make this product as flexible as possible to meet as many needs as possible. So, all right, so this is the first time we put this together in the vertical position. And it exposed some pretty obvious design shortcomings. So what I want to do is I want to address the lateral movement, so you can see that thing kind of twist a little bit. We want to be able to facilitate somebody throwing, 6 gas cans up on top of this thing. So we want to make sure we have as much stability as we can. And what we have to do is we have to tie the bottom of our side braces into our top platform with some type of triangulation in there. So the obvious thing to do would be to we have a steel rail in here. We could bring that rail down and tie that in, which would be really nice, but it would be impossible to ship like that. So what we're going to end up doing is breaking this rail here into 2 different pieces. So this is actually 2 rails, which works out good for us. You can think of it as 2 pieces of laminate stuck together. So the steel piece that you see showing through is 2 pieces of 1/8 inch put together. And we do that for several reasons, but one, you can add more pieces of that if you need it stronger, lighter, or whatever. So having that flexibility is pretty nice. But in this case, what we're going to do is our inboard rail, our inboard version of this rail, is going to stay like it is now, one solid piece that goes from right here all the way to the same place on the other side. So we get a lot of rigidity out of that piece. But what we're going to do with the outboard rail, this version that I can touch here, is it's going to stop right here. So we'll have a bolt to connect it that'll go all the way through both of our rails and the shelf. And then we'll make a triangulation piece that lives here and comes down and attaches in 2 places on this bracket. So what that'll get you is basically some triangulation that'll keep all of this nice and rigid for all of our lateral movement. And it'll ship easy. And they're all flat parts, so they cut easy, and should be good. It'd be a few more bolts to put in, which we have to be very careful and not put 1,000 fasteners in these things. But in this case, it's definitely worth it. Make a really nice product and still really modular. If you want to mount it upside down, still no problem there. So let's go do some CAD changes. All right, so this is sort of the preliminary design of our triangulation brace here. And what we're trying to do is tie the flat part of the shelf to the vertical part of the side bracket, so we eliminate that lateral movement. I think this is going to do a pretty good job of that without adding a bunch of weight. So we'll see what this looks like here. So when we add a bracket like we have here, I always like to look at it and say, what functionality can we add to this? Because we have to make it anyway, we might as well make it cool, make it useful. So the thing that sort of immediately stands out in my mind is we could put on one of our dog bone shaped cutouts. It'd be a really good spot to add a an L-track, like a single stud connector down here. So I'll go ahead and draw that up, and cutting that material out does not hurt the rigidity at all. Frees up a little bit of weight and adds some functionality all at the same time. So it's definitely a win-win. So now we got to put some holes over here to attach it to the vertical bracket. Yeah, I like it. It's like a happy little tree. So that does a really good job of tying that all together, except, dang it, I think I want to add another bolt to it. Not a big fan of adding bolts, but it'll be worth it in this case. Yeah, it's worth it. What we've got to do now is draw and cut a shorter version of our little nut plate that goes in behind, like up inside the bed rail, that sort of clamps everything in. To move that rack all the way against the back of the cab, the longer nut plate's not going to work just because of the fitment against the bed rails. So this will be a pretty easy change. So this is our upper configuration and then our lower configuration, sort of in the same assembly, just so we can see how all the pieces interact with each other. But this little guy here is what we have to redraw. So let's do that. All right, so what just happened, we built our cut file. It's now over the network, it is on the laser. So now we can pull it from the network and cut it, but we're gonna have to wait a while. Let's go check and see how long we have to wait. All right, so we still have quite a bit to cut on this sheet here. So we have about 20 minutes, 22 minutes. So time to wait. So I've wanted to put Starlink on the truck, like since we got it. So even like driving to California, pulling the trailer, I'm like, man, I'd love to have a place for Starlink. So the first thought was how to get Starlink onto the truck. And pulling the trailer, I don't know if this is a solution or not, because the gooseneck goes in there and it might be in the way of the trailer. But the idea of getting Starlink onto the truck and not doing a roof rack. So the problem putting a roof rack on that truck is you're not going through a car wash anymore. You're probably not going into your garage. You know, like it's already just really tall. So the easy answer is just build a roof rack, but that has all sorts of other problems. So I thought, well, where can we put that dish that's inconspicuous and not on the roof, so you're kind of left with attach it to the bed sides or something like that, and that was hokey. So I thought, well, maybe if we sunk something down in below the bed sides, we could put the Starlink dish on that. And so I actually went to Harbor Freight to buy this like roll around case for the Starlink dish, put all of the Starlink mobile router and controller and stuff in it. I did that, drilled holes in the box, like a really expensive box. I think it was like 90 bucks or something. And then as I got it finished, I walked by a stack of Packout boxes beside the door, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Why didn't I start with the Milwaukee Packouts? So nonetheless, well, we have a box that we can't return with holes in it. But what that meant is now we can stick the dish onto the Packout box. So not only do we get a dish attachment mechanism with the Milwaukee Packout adapters and stuff, but we also have the expansion capability of additional Packouts. And so I think that's really the selling point of that shelf, is to be able to put things to it and sort of affix it, attach it where it doesn't move. And so what we're sort of working toward now is the whole dirt bike or maybe even mountain bike configuration where you have everything in your bed that you would normally, but you still have this elevated platform that's a really good attachment space. So the thing that I've always had issues with throwing dirt bikes in the back of the truck is now you can't really tie anything down because you've used your tie downs for your dirt bike straps and maybe to hold a gas can or something like that, but all of that stuff is flopping around like crazy. So what I'm hoping this turns out to be is a way to mount gas cans in your toolbox and everything like that up above the front tires of the dirt bikes. So there again, we're sort of creating this place to attach things. And so far I think it's gonna work. My one concern is that shelf like nestling under the fender of the dirt bike. So that's gonna be a little bit of a problem. We'll see how that lands when we get it in there. But the shelf right now is drawn to be about 1 inch above the front tire of the dirt bike, which is about an inch or two below the bottom of the fender. So I'm hoping that it just drives right in there, but I've thought that before and it didn't happen. So let's make some parts and see if it works. Yeah, oh, it's going in. Oh my Lord. It's like it was measured to do that.
I don't think it tight down.
We got a thing.
Oh, you got the block.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so it's seeing the light of day for the first time, which is pretty neat. All in all, that's kind of an overview of what our process is for these types of things. So this one was kind of unique in that we had no reason for this product. Nobody asked for it. We just thought, hey, that'd be kind of a neat idea that we haven't seen before. So we started with it in the low setup, which we'll probably put this one back to low and shoot some more pictures and stuff like that. But this is the high setup, and it's specifically set up to be right above a dirt bike tire. It's actually about 2 inches high. But the idea here is you put your dirt bike in and you should have a ton of room to tie stuff down on the top, on the sides. You can do another pack out on the other side for tools or that type of thing. So yeah, I'm pumped about it. The thing probably weighs 40 pounds, 35 pounds, something like that. So not a lot of weight. A ton of functionality. We still got tie down points here. And all in all, I am super pumped about it. Yeah, we got to kind of test the whole process from initial concept to first article to iteration, and we added a bunch of strength to it with not much extra weight with our little triangulation brackets here. So this guy was kind of the hero of the day, and I am really happy with it. So hope you guys like it. If you have any questions about it, let us know. We always open to feedback and want to hear what you guys think. So thanks for watching. We'll do it again soon.